just want to talk about momentum and the change, obviously, yesterday when you guys got the win in the bottom of the ninth and the home crowd, those kind of things. How does that change for you guys, or how did it change? How did it feel?
For sure. I think it was I was talking to Fitzy, and the way he characterized it was kind of like it was an emotional must-win for us. Kind of just proved to ourselves we could pick ourselves up off the mat, something we had done all year. So, we hung in there. It's we've seen it's a good team. Good lineup, good bullpen. So, for us to hang in there, we weren't really surprised. It was just it's one of those wins that you feel a lot better when you come out on the plus side of it than the negative side. So I was really proud of our guys. We hung in there. We battled, made good pitches, had good at-bats, came out on the plus side.
And how important follow-up is it, games 3, 4, and 5 here at home in front of your home crowd?
Yeah, home field advantage is definitely a thing for sure. You see it, with those guys across the way. They definitely play well at home for sure. And I think we're kind of coming into our own here too. I was really proud of the fans for showing up at 2 o'clock on a Thursday. I know it's not an easy task, but I think it helped us for sure.
Second row on the right.
Zach, it looked like you were the first one out of the dugout to get to Cattell yesterday, and I feel like I've seen you be one of the first on walk-offs before. What's going through your mind in those moments?
That's because I'm fast. That's why I was out there. I think my family asked me about this last night. I think it's my first move is to, I don't know if you guys have seen our dugouts, but we have the benches I feel like I think I stand up on the bench behind and then just jump over the fence as opposed to trying to climb over it. It gives me an extra leg up on everybody to get out there. But that's one of the more fun parts of being on the bench. Is you can't really help. You can help, cheer and root the guys on and whatnot. So it was just, I don't know, it was just pure instinct just to get up and jump over the fence.
In the front here on the right.
Hey Zach, now it's been a few days. Is there anything else you've taken away from that game 1 start other than a few mislocated fastballs?
That's a few days ago. I'm on to whatever today is, Friday, getting ready for game 5. So it's short-term memory, whether it's good or bad.
Jeff?
Can everyone throw 200 innings?
Can you throw 200 innings?
I cannot throw 200 innings, but I find it very interesting the limitations that are placed on starting pitchers now, and as someone who actually does break those limitations, I'm curious if you think this is an achievable thing for the majority of people who try to be a starting pitcher.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I think you I could talk about this probably all day. I think it's definitely possible. I did it this year. I think Merrill would have done it this year too, barring some injuries. He did it last year. And you're still seeing guys do it. I'm wondering if teams are understanding that maybe 200 innings isn't necessarily a great thing. It's like maybe if our guys throw 180 and their 200th inning is in the playoffs, as opposed to maybe their 220th inning is in the playoffs is a positive. I do think guys can do it. I just think with the data and all that stuff, I'm convinced that teams are starting to value that 200 threshold, just like the 100 pitch threshold, and be like, that's this is where we want guys to hit their final peak or whatever. But I do think it's attainable, and I think it's even more of an accomplishment now because there's some efficiency to it. And you're looking at, you're probably getting 32 to 34 starts. So you're looking at 6 and change a start if you're on that low side of 32. I think there's an achievement to it. I think guys can do it. But it's the new age of baseball. It's changed a little bit.
Do you think that change is good? And I ask that because I think the priority now in the way that pitchers are being taught is you go hard, you go max effort, you spin the hell out of the ball, as opposed to the priority being placed on innings, on depth, on getting into starts.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of not hesitant against the max, because I mean when you're out there you're competing, you're at 100% anyway. So I've never gone out for a start thinking, well, I gotta conserve to maybe get to the 6th or the 7th. It's more about I have to be even better tonight to be more efficient to get myself into the 7th, 8th, 9th inning, whatever it is. I feel like you'd be hard pressed to find a lot of guys that go, yeah, I'm just blowing it out for 5, and is what it is. At least that's, I don't know. I think, yeah, it's hard for me to say that. I've kind of just been like, even in spring training, I remember talking to Torey about playing in the World Baseball Classic and Hayes and all those guys, and I'm like, I'm treating spring training like it's the season. Like I'm 95% outside of that extra 5 or 10% you get from adrenaline. Like I'm trying to let it rip. So yeah, I'm on the opposite side of that. I think of just blowing it out.
On the right side in the middle.
Zach, did you boo Torey yesterday? Because he was booing himself. He said, when Brandon, what's it like when you're watching Brandon and you know that that's the manager and the decision making, and what was that like for you?
Yeah, for Torey's sake, I was actually inside. I came in to get a water and use the restroom. But yeah, it's the same. It's just like the 200. Like baseball is changing, obviously, and teams now where I was talking about this yesterday, where what were your middle relievers, the guys that threw the 5th, 6th, 7th inning, whatever it is, are now leverage guys just in baseball and specifically the playoffs. And I know there was a plan going into it. It's just hard, as a starting pitcher, somebody who likes to just hold the ball as long as I possibly can and be out there to see that. It's one of those. It's when I feel like when managers and teams can balance the watching part of the game and the flow and understanding what's going on, but then also execute the plan at the same time, is when you have plans that work out really well. So yeah, it's tough, but we won. So I think it's what do they say? Winning's the best perfume. So it is what it is.
Teo on the left.
Back to the 200 inning thing. Is there anything different? I think you're at 226 now. Is there anything you did differently physically to make that possible for yourself?
Honestly, no. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out the routine part of it all. This year, I probably tapered off the lifting during the season as much, and more of like, I don't know. But I don't know that was a thing. I think maybe just this year I was a little bit more efficient, maybe a little bit more healthy coming off at 21 as opposed to last year. But yeah, I didn't really do much different. I'm honestly probably throwing more in between starts towards the end of the year this year than I was last year. So nothing necessarily that I could pinpoint. I think just, trying to go out there and be efficient and get deep in the games, really.
Are you throwing more between starts because you're trying to feel stuff fine-tuned, whereas last year you were on that inning streak and everything was locked in?
Yeah, it's... I've kind of, like last year, I remember thinking back, it was like, all right, I felt really good with where I was at and the work I'd put in, and just felt good. I don't want to say like mentally, but it was like, all right, I'm going to throw for my 20, 25 minutes today, 30 minutes, whatever it is. If I don't feel great today, like I'll just tomorrow. Today I feel like just, this year just a little bit more of a grind, so I'm throwing and just seeing what I can figure out, really. I think that's more my favorite part of trying to figure out the puzzle than necessarily having the puzzle all figured out, for lack of a better phrase.
Second row on the right.
Zach, one more on the innings topic. Torey was in here earlier talking about, he didn't even consider you on short rest. It just wasn't fair to you mentally or physically to put that burden on your shoulders. I mean, where are you at, kind of your tank right now at this point in the season?
I honestly feel really good. I'm still throwing. I threw a 35 pitch bullpen the other day, and I know probably the older I get and the more experience I'll get in this whole playoff thing and deeper seasons, maybe that changes. But for me, I'm still just trying to get better. And I feel like where I feel like I'm at, I would be doing myself and the guys in that clubhouse a disservice if I was just like, well, I'm going to conserve the energy. So trying to still be smart about it. But, I feel pretty good in terms of tank. I think it's one of those, you don't know what you don't know. Like, I feel pretty solid.
Jesse.
Zach, how have you seen
did Brandon Pfaadt grow from the pitcher he was when he first came up to what he did yesterday?
Yeah, I think we had talked about this, after the LA start. He's growing exponentially. To kind of copy what I said a couple weeks ago or last week, whatever. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine it's an easy task to be sent down multiple times, and you have to keep improving on stuff. And Reno's not a easy place to pitch and learn and things like that. So, yeah, he's just showed a tremendous amount of just kind of poise and maturity. That's the biggest start of our season right there, and for him to come out and put a hot offense on ice was super impressive.
The right side.
Zach, going back to the home field, I'm going to guess you've had maybe 1 or 2 regular season starts here with like 40,000 plus, maybe like 70% of like what the energy's been last Wednesday and yesterday. Have you thought about that in these 2 games? Like, this would be nice to pitch at home with this.
Absolutely, yeah. I've seen it I pitched one time in 2019. The Dodgers were here, and there was a famous band playing after. I don't know. It was like 51,000 people. It was crazy. I had no idea. Last night and last Wednesday, I think it was, against the Dodgers, the energy has been awesome, and it's kind of my feeling when I had said in the offseason, like, Phoenix, they'll show up when you're winning and you're playing good baseball. The energy's here, and I think just as much fun as it is for us, I feel like it's fun for them. So to have them come out and the energy, home field advantage is a real thing for sure. And to have the city behind you, have almost 50,000 people there. Yesterday, I imagine it'll be pretty close today. It's been awesome because there's been some dark times here and some less than favorable crowds for sure. So to see it kind of turn in our favor has been awesome.